Good morning or good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to a beautiful spring day in South Shropshire. We've actually come out for a walk today, first time for quite a while. We've just come back from Scotland, and because of health issues and bad weather, we haven't been able to do any videos at all the last few weeks. The weather in Scotland was absolutely abysmal. We were back to the middle of winter. It was very, very wet, very, very cold, and very, very windy. The one day that we went out for a walk, the wind chill factor was between -15 and -18, and I have never been so cold in my whole life. I think it took me about 3 days to get warm. But sitting here in the sunshine, it's quite hard to imagine now. Just 2 weeks ago.
It is. This is just beautiful, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, so what we're going to do, we didn't do any vlogging in Scotland because of the weather. But we did take some photographs, so we're going to stick the photographs on at the end of this little chat. So that the vlog won't be too long. I said there's no B-roll, just photographs that Sue and myself took, so I hope you enjoy that. And on the subject of photography, I just want to say that I've gone retro now. Sue is still using her
Z50.
Yeah, which
Nikon Z50.
Yeah, which is a DX sensor. I had a Z7. Decided to go back to a DSLR, so I've got myself a Nikon D850, and I'm just going to use one lens now in future, which is the 24 to 120, and that will have to suffice for all my photography. If I want to shoot longer range, I'll just put it into DX mode, and I have no qualms about doing that, because I'll put a picture in after we've just finished talking here of a picture that Sue took of a goshawk in Mortimer Forest, and it was right at the end of a zoom, handheld in the woods, and it was brilliant. So we'll put that on here. This first image here is the raw file that Sue took on her Z50, and as you can see with the second image here, the one that she's finished processing, she's cropped it very heavily, probably only about 25% of the original image left, and so when you see it was at 2000 ISO, so the quality of the image that she's got here handheld I think is absolutely amazing. So don't worry about if you're shooting in DX, you can get some top class images with it. So I hope you enjoy the video, and until the next time, keep on walking, keep on going out there. So I'm not going to say bye for now because you've got some pictures.
Enjoy.
Yeah. It's around a 400-mile journey from home up until Fort William. You have to navigate the delights of the M6 amongst other things, but the real beauty of the drive is actually when we approach Rannoch Moor. It makes all the stress and strains of driving worthwhile. Just pull into a lay-by, have a rest, get your camera out, have an amble around. It's a wonderful place. On this holiday it had taken us over 10 hours due to traffic conditions to drive up to Fort William, so we were quite tired by the time we arrived, and the next day, on the Sunday, we decided just to have an amble around, just drove down to bennevis, parked in a car park by the lower falls, and just had a walk around and actually found a new path to go up where we had some wonderful views down the glen, which must be one of the most beautiful in Scotland. we'd always wanted to follow the path from near Fort William up to the north face of bennevis, and so on the Monday of the holiday we decided to go. The weather wasn't too bad. As we started out, it was a bit grey, overcast, but it was quite dry, a bit on the cool side. But as we got out of the woods and actually into the glen itself there, the wind was absolutely horrendous, and a couple of times nearly knocked Sue off her feet. It was really, really windy, and the cold just got right through you. You know, we thought we dressed for the weather, but we'd not experienced cold like this for a long time. Whether age has got anything to do with it, we don't know. But so we got so far up and then just decided to hunker down, have our lunch, and then come back down. And lo and behold, just after lunch it started to rain, and then didn't stop for 2 days. But it is a place that we want to go back to. The views here, again, absolutely tremendous landscapes. The road along the side of Loch Arkaig has been described as one of the worst in Scotland. It really is probably about 11 miles of very, very narrow road with passing places, and there are timber wagons that are going up and down. So we drove down here and parked by the Witch's Pool waterfall and just had a walk down to the end of the loch. And as you can see from the images, winter had returned. Snow was down on the peaks. It was quite windy, but just magical to be standing there. Now, because the weather was not very good while we were up in Scotland, we decided just to do a little bit of photography early one morning. So we went down to the Commando Monument viewpoint just outside Spian Bridge, looking across to the Nevis Range, and it was just stunning, the views. There'd been snow overnight, and it was just marvellous just to stand there and have a look at the mountains cloaked in their white winter coat. Just beautiful. And I had a go at doing a time lapse as well, which you'll see in not too long a time, which I think has worked quite well for a first attempt. But the views here were amazing, and it's a place that, you know, we could recommend to anybody to go to, just to stand there and just admire the views. When we were standing on the Commando viewpoint on the evening, we decided to come back the following day and have a go at doing a time lapse, as I'd never done one before and thought we'd give it a go. So we arrived not too early in the morning, but about 8:30, and set everything up, put the tripod out, put the camera down. As we were standing there looking, I thought these clouds are not really moving very fast at all, and this isn't going to work. However, I say I'd not done one before, not sure how it was going to work out, so we set it up, did it. There's 300 images here, all taken at a 3-second interval on both the time lapses, and I think they're quite mesmerising. It just shows you how the clouds do move, which sometimes are quite imperceptible to the human eye, and I shall certainly be having a go at doing some more.